Hello, my name's Tanya and this is my channel Just Let Me Sew. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back, and welcome if this is your first time finding my little channel. Sorry about the cat, she's just decided to join us in the video today, and also sorry about the sun. It's a really strange day here today. 1 minute it's raining, then it's sun, so I've drawn the curtains but it keeps coming out. Anyway, I hope you are all well wherever you are, whatever you are up to. Hope you've been getting some sewing done. I've got a few things I want to talk about today. First, I want to talk about the Stitch Festival, which was last weekend. I met some really lovely people there, and I also picked up some nice things at the festival, spent a bit of money. I have also ordered some patterns from the Simplicity half price sale, which I'm going to talk through, and then also go through my plans of what I want to make in the next couple of months. So to start off with, the Stitch Festival. The Stitch Festival is a sewing festival in the UK held in London over 4 days. This festival is in Islington in Angel. And I have been to the Knitting and Stitching show, which is in Ali Pali, which is a bit further over North London way. So this one is much closer to me. It is in a slightly smaller venue, so it's a little bit more crowded, which has got its advantages because you do feel a lot sort of closer to the stalls and you don't have to walk quite so far to get places. But the downside is that for me personally, I felt quite overwhelmed. A lot going on, a lot of people, but also really nice atmosphere as well. So swings and roundabouts, I suppose. I went by myself, but the lovely Catherine from Soverton Makery actually contacted me and asked if I would like to join up with her and another group of some vloggers that were going along. So that was wonderful. I had some company on the day, which was really lovely, really special to get to meet all those people. I was saying it was very strange because obviously I haven't been doing this channel for very long, but I have been watching their channels for quite a long time. So it felt really strange, like I know you, but you don't really know me. So I felt quite like an imposter going in because as I said, I haven't been vlogging for very long, but they were all so lovely and really welcoming, and it was great to meet them face to face. I'll link all of their channels down below, but obviously there was Catherine that I mentioned, there was Rachel, Adam, Katie from Whatever Katie Sews, Angela and Sam, and we also met up with Cara a bit later, so I'll link all of their channels down below. It was really lovely to meet them, so if any of you are watching, thank you very much for including me in your little group before the day. So what did I buy? So first of all, when I got there by myself, I did a little recce of the downstairs bit, and then I went up to the gallery at the top where tends to be the indie, not patterns, the smaller businesses, the independent businesses, that's the word I'm looking for. And my first stop was Studio 7T7. I struggle with saying that because I want to say 77, but it's 7, letter T, 7. I'll link them down below. And that is a bag making business that is run by Emma. Emma has been along to one of the Surrey Sews meetups that I go to sometimes, and she's lovely, very knowledgeable lady. She also has a YouTube channel, which is wonderful because if you buy any of her patterns, she has a channel which has a sew along for it already made. She also does a club, the 77 Club, and if you sign up to that, you get 2 free patterns when you sign up. So I went along because I did want to buy a pattern. Excuse me about the rustling, these are quite rustly packages, but I bought this, which is called the Divide and Go, and it's like a caddy. So you can put all of your sewing bits and bobs in there, your scissors, needles, anything. Particularly useful if you go to any sewing socials, you can just take it along with you. And when I met up with Emma at the social we did in Woking, she had that. So that's where I got the idea from. So I bought that, and I also spied she had a lovely rucksack hanging up on display, which was a versatile one that you can change the straps. So it can be a shoulder strap, I think it can be crossbody, and it can also be the backpack as well. But Mel, who was helping out, that's Mel Keane, she said, well, if you join the club, you actually get that free. So I got that. I will insert a picture of the rucksack here, what it is. I think the club, it was on offer at the festival, so it was £10 to sign up for the first month, and then I think after that it's about £20 a month, but you're under no obligation to stay. You're not signed into a contract or anything, so you can leave at any time. So I bought that as well. And when you join the club, you get this lovely little journal, and you also get a little free pin badge with it as well, which I've got here, which is very cute. It says, thank you for being in the club, the 77 Club. So it's all going to be back to front for you anyway. So that was nice. While I was up there, I also went over to Little Rosy Cheeks and I picked up some of her lovely labels. And I know some people have already mentioned these, but I spotted this new one that I haven't seen before. Being a Spice Girls fan back in the day, it is Swing It, Shake It, Move It, Made It. I thought that was brilliant. So I got one of those. And this one that says You Deserve to Dream, which is cute. And this one, I Made This, which is very sweet. And then she hands out these little free ones at the festivals as well. I Made This, which is really nice. So those were the labels that I bought. What else did I buy? So I did buy some fabric, but I was very controlled in the amount of fabric that I bought. I didn't buy long lengths because I've come to realise lately that I don't really wear many dresses. If I wear a dress, it would be to work or it would be for a special occasion. More often than not, I tend to wear tops, so like t-shirts or blouses. So I thought, right, 1.5 meters is usually fine. And that way you can buy a little bit more expensive fabric than you would normally if you needed it for a dress, for me anyway, because 1.5 meters, you can get something really nice for your money. So I picked up this lovely one, which is a viscose linen, and it's Fabric Godmother. So if I unfold it, you can see it fully. These gorgeous magenta and orange colours with big leaves. It's just beautiful, be perfect for the summer. And I think with that one, I think I'm going to make another Isla puff sleeve blouse. I talked about that in my So Frugal video. I've made 2 of those up already and I love them. They come together really quickly. I'll try and insert the video link up here where I go into a full review of the pattern, but it's a really good pattern, so do check out that video if you want a bit of an insight into it. So I might make that, or I might make another McCalls top, which I don't know if I have to hand. It's the McCalls M7325, and I'll insert a picture of it here. I'm going to talk about it later anyway. So a couple of options for that one. I then spotted, I bumped into a lady that has come to my sewing social before, and she had just been to the lady McElroy stall, and she had picked up beautiful fabric, and I spied it and I thought, oh, I love that. I'd love to get some of that. So I went back and I bought some for myself. So it is, I think it's a cotton voile because it's a bit sheer. It's not a cotton lawn because it's much finer than that. But it has these lovely bits of lurex that run through it. So these trees, there's a little house, really beautiful. And I love these colours here, like an aqua blue and green, pinks and yellows with the lurex going through it. And I tested the other side because I get quite sensitive skin to feel if that lurex sort of comes through, and it doesn't. It's very smooth on the other side. So I got 1.5 meters of that one. That was £15. I don't know if that's like a special offer for their stall, but they did say anything on the table and a bolt was £15 a metre, which I think is actually quite good value for Lady McElroy. I think they're usually more expensive than that, but I've never bought any of their fabrics before, so I don't know. The reason I bought those more expensive fabrics as well at the festival was because I think when you're at one of those in-person events, you can really feel the fabric and you can get a sense for the quality. And when I'm shopping on the internet, you can see it, but it doesn't really sort of jump out to me. But when you're in person, you can really get a feel of just how lovely the fabric is. And I think for that cotton voile, I might make up this vintage pattern. I mean, vintage, it's from the 80s, I think. 86, yeah, so that's not vintage, is it? So it's a Simplicity pattern 7482, but it's a pretty standard shirt. I have made it before, years ago when I first started sewing. If I show you the line drawings on the back, there's nothing particularly different about it. It's got grown on sleeves. There's no sleeve cap or arm side there. It's just grown on. You can have tabs, and then there are a few options for the collar. It's sort of, this one hasn't got the stand collar at the back. It's just flops open there. There's a shawl collar, or this one, which has got the proper notch collar there. So I think I will make that one. And if I remember from when I made it years and years ago, it was quite narrow at the hips. So I will have to remember to widen that. This is one of those patterns where it says easy to sew. I have heard a couple of vloggers talking about this easy to sew, easy, that the big four say. I mean, what is easy? If you were a beginner, sorry, I just noticed my cat is having a good old groom behind us. You don't mind us, that's fine. We all want to see you grooming yourself there. What was I saying? Yeah, so these patterns say easy, but if you were a beginner and you picked this up thinking, oh, it says easy, I don't think doing a big four notched collar for one of your first projects is easy at all, particularly big four, because their instructions are so sparse. So we will see how that one goes. Okay, what else did I buy? I went along to one of the fabric stalls where they have all of the rolls of fabric laid out on the table, and they're usually in a big U shape, and it's kind of just like a bit of a free-for-all. And when I first arrived at the stall, I just at the show, I had to back away because I felt very overwhelmed. There were so many people around these tables. A lot of people go with somebody else or in a group, so they've sort of got a bit of company. But when you're on your own and you do sometimes get bashed by a bag or an elbow by accident, it's a bit much. So I went away, and then I came back later in the day when it was quieter and you could actually get to the front of the stall and touch the fabrics. And I picked up this linen, and this beautiful blue, sky blue, and it has got stretch in it. It's linen, he called it a linen lycra. So it's got a little bit of stretch. Which way does it go? That way, just a tiny bit of stretch. Just to give a bit of give with whatever you make. So that is beautiful. Not rough, a little bit rough, but not sort of to irritate your skin. And I bought 1.5 meters of that as well. And with that, I want to make up a shirt. So I might be pushing my luck with this one, but you never know. They say 1.7 meters. I might be able to squeeze it out of 1.5 meters. I want to make this Simplicity pattern, which is S9707. And it, again, says easy to sew. We will see. So you can make a long length shirt, very loose, relaxed fit, or there's shorter versions. They have 4 variations, but they're not really 4, it's more like 2, because one of the variations only has like 2 or 3 buttons, so the buttons finish about there, and then the other option has buttons all the way down, and the same for the shorter one, buttons all the way down or just a few buttons up to sort of midway, so not really that different. But I like the look of it because it's nice and relaxed. It's got dropped shoulders as well, which is something you need to look really closely at with these patterns, because if you were making that up and didn't notice that it had dropped shoulders and you just went for it, you might think when you were doing your fitting that it was really, really, really big, but it is meant to be like that. And it's got these nice gathers at the back to make it a bit more relaxed as well. So I'm going to have a go at making that one up. So that is it. So just looking down at my notes of what I did at the Stitch Festival, that was it. So after the festival, we stayed till about 5 o'clock when it closes on a Friday, about 5 o'clock. And then we went across the road and went for Pizza Express, which was really lovely. Again, so nice to meet that group of other sewists. They were all so lovely and very, very friendly. And then I went home. So it was a wonderful day, really wonderful. I think in the future I may consider going for 2 days because it's a very full-on day, particularly if you go with a group. There's lots of chatting, just sort of wandering around. But if you go on your second day, you can actually make the purchases of the things that you want to pick up. What I would recommend, if you ever go to the business centre in Angel, which is where the Stitch Festival was, it does get very, very warm. So you walk in and they have some stands on ground level, and then you go up some stairs and it's sort of like a raised platform. Up on that area, it gets really, really warm. And then you go up again and there's a gallery which goes all the way around the room. If you want somewhere a little bit cooler or a bit quieter, somewhere just to get away from it all, when you come in on that ground floor, if you just keep walking down the sides, it's lovely and quiet down there. And that's where we went to have our lunch. I just took a sandwich from Tesco because it's really expensive to buy stuff in there. And we just sat down there. If you don't want to sit on the floor, there is also a sort of dining area. This year they had it as the catwalk, where they were all doing the shows and catwalks with chairs laid out. When I went previously, all of that room was just like a dining area, so loads of tables and chairs set out. And they did have at the back a sort of bar, but I don't think they were doing food in there. It was just drinks. So there is tables and chairs up on that top, but if you want somewhere proper to sit as well. So a couple of options for you there. Anyway, so that was so I mentioned that I picked up some patterns because Simplicity have got a half price sale on at the moment, and I got my patterns from So Essential. So Essential is nice independent business. Lucy also has a YouTube channel where she does some videos on things that she's made up, and she does tutorials and shows some of the fabric that they've got in their shop. And I picked up 3 patterns. Now what I do is during the course of the year, if I see a YouTuber or something on Instagram using a pattern that I like the look of, I will put it on my Pinterest. So any pattern that I like the look of. And then if there's ever a sale on, like the big 4 often have sales for their different brands, or Indie Patterns might be doing an offer, I'll go into my Pinterest and just check if I've got anything from those patterns, because some of them can be quite expensive. So to get a little discount really does help. The first one I picked up was Simplicity S9225. And it's this lovely dress that can be maxi length, or you can do it more of a midi length. And it's got an unusual collar that hopefully you can see if my phone wants to focus. Not really. So it's not really a collar that stands up. It's like the neck piece that comes out and then goes in, which I thought was quite unusual. Very relaxed fit. I don't think it does have darts. It's got bust darts, so just a dart either side. If you don't want the collar, you can just have the V-neck. So I like that. I thought that would be nice and relaxed for the summer. What I love about the Big 4 patterns is sometimes they have these patterns where they have like an outfit. So you get 3 patterns for like the price of 1, really. So I picked up Simplicity S9826 and it is a cardigan. Trousers, which you can have in full length or the cropped length, and a little camisole. I think the camisole is cut on the bias. Yeah, it's a bias cut camisole. I think with the cardigan, I would want to put a cuff on there to bring those sleeves in a little bit. And I think I would probably make the full length trousers. What I really like at the moment is there's a lot of these tailored trousers around. And they keep popping up on my Instagram. They can probably tell that I keep looking at them. So it keeps getting suggested by like Marks and Spencer's and New Look of all these tailored trousers. And I want to make some up. I have got some navy crepe fabric that I might use, but I was looking at the fabric suggestions and it seems to suggest something a little bit heavier weight for these trousers. Cotton blends, gabardine, linen blends, satin. I suppose satin can be a bit lighter. Stretch wovens, twill or wool blends. So I might go for something a little bit heavier. And then that cami is lovely. I just really like that whole outfit. I think she looks very smart. It's nice, that one. And then the final one I picked up was this Mimi G pattern, S9740. Again, you can have it in two lengths. More of a sort of, what's that called? It's not a maxi, mid-axi. And then the knee length version, and it has a nice placket and collar to it as well. I saw Erin make this up from Erin Sews. She has a YouTube channel. If you've not come across Erin yet, I'll link her channel down below. Go and check her out because she's really lovely. She's very funny and she's also a very good sewer. She does lots of quilts as well, quilt making. So she made this up, I think in a navy rib knit. And I think this would be lovely for the summer. Hopefully we'll get a decent summer in the UK this year. Maybe like in a navy or a black, maybe an interlock. It does suggest heavier knits. So stretch knits only, such as double knit, interlock, jersey, or a lightweight ponte. I suppose jersey could be a bit lighter as well, couldn't it? But I think for this one, you don't want anything too clingy. It does have, if you see the back, the line drawings, it has got a centre back seam, which makes me think that there is going to be a little bit of shaping to it, which would be nice. So it doesn't just sort of hang as a sack. So planning to make that up for the summer. So those were my 3 patterns that I picked up in the Simplicity sale, and hoping to perhaps get maybe the trousers made up fairly soon. Not sure when I'll get the others made up, but there we go. So my sewing plans for April, May, I have got 2 things cut out already that I want to get started on. And I will just grab the fabrics. So the first thing that I cut out was this cotton voile, double gauze, sorry, from Simple Life Fabrics. It's on a navy background and it has these multicoloured leaves and flowers on it. Really lovely fabric from Simple Life Fabrics, and she does also have it in a white colourway where the background is white. I showed this in one of my recent videos. I don't know if she's got any left in stock, but I'll link her shop down below so you can have a look anyway. And I'm turning that into a Marnie blouse, by Tilly and the Buttons. I am going for the ruffle collar, the sleeve side ruffles. I'm not going to do the undulating tucks. And I slightly hack the sleeves on the Marnie. I just extend the top sleeve pattern all the way down, and I think I taper it out by like an inch to get a bit of extra volume. So the Marnie blouse usually has a sort of it's a 2-part sleeve where you have the top and then the bottom bit is much wider, so sort of like a lantern sleeve. I just do wide all the way down and then elastic around the cuff. So I'm making that up. It's all cut out and ready to go. The second thing I have cut out was using some fabric that I had from my stash. I bought this years ago. I think I got it from Pound Fabrics, and it is a black broderie anglaise, and it's got quite big holes in it. So this will be a good one for the summer, and you can see it's quite sheer as well. And I'm going to make this the McCalls M7325. I've made this up before, and I actually wore this blouse that I made to the Stitch Festival in a green gingham. And I got a couple of people asking me what pattern it was, so that was lovely that people commented on it. So for the top bodice, it's actually lined, so it doesn't matter that it's sheer. So it will be like that, so not so sheer. So I've got that cut out and ready to go as well. So 2 projects underway, and I'm going to get those finished soon. The next thing that I want to make up April, May time is another pair of the Peppermint wide leg trousers. So I mentioned in my So Frugal video that I was making these up, and I have finished them. I wore those to the Stitch Festival as well. I won't include a photo yet because I'm going to do a sort of summary video of my So Frugal makes, so you have to wait till the next video to see those. But I really like them. They are the comfiest trousers I have ever made. I think they're even better possibly than the Persephone jeans that I made, I think. The only one thing I don't like so much is the curved waistband. It gapes a little bit at the back, so I'm going to have to tweak that. And I think I'm going to narrow the legs as well. They are quite wide, so I can bring those in. And I've got some cotton canvas that I got from Legend Textiles. So I'm going to make them up in like a dark green cotton canvas. And I think they'll be really versatile, really useful for my wardrobe, for like spring, summer trousers. So those are my 3 plans that I want to definitely get made up in April, May, and then hopefully also use some of the fabrics or the simplicity patterns that I got recently as well. So that is me. Thank you very much for bearing with me. It's been quite a long video today actually. Don't usually rabbit on for this long, so thank you very much for sticking with me. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you are well wherever you are, whatever you are doing. If you are doing some sewing, I'd love to know what you are sewing up at the moment as well. And I hope to see you next time. Take care everyone. Bye.